The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been called within hours of the first reports. Admiral Stor of the Altanian fleet paced nervously before the holographic displays, his four arms gesticulating wildly as he addressed the assembled delegates from across the galaxy. Esteemed colleagues, his translator device rendered his clicks and whistles into standard galactic. We have a problem. A significant problem. The massive view screen flickered to life, showing grainy surveillance, footage from the Outer Rim territories. What appeared on screen defied every principle of known starship engineering. The vessel was massive, easily 3 times the size of the largest Krillian dreadnought, but that wasn't what made the council members shift uncomfortably in their seats. This, Zextar's voice cracked slightly, is what the humans are calling the Defiant Pioneer. Commander Thulva of the Geometric Hegemony leaned forward, her crystalline form refracting the light from the display. That's impossible. Look at the hull composition. It appears to be constructed from at least 7 different materials, none of which should be compatible under quantum field stress. And yet, Zextar replied grimly, our scouts report it's not only functional, but capable of speeds that should tear any ship apart. They've somehow made the incompatible compatible. Ana Rodriguez stood at the observation deck of the Defiant Pioneer, watching the swirling nebula outside through the reinforced viewport. The ship hummed around her with an almost musical quality, a harmony of human engineering and sheer stubborn determination. Engineering report looks good, Captain, came the voice of her chief engineer, Helen McCready, over the comm. The jury-rigged quantum stabilizers are holding steady, and the salvaged Virex engine cores are playing nice with our fusion reactors. Ana smiled to herself. The Galactic Council had very specific rules about starship construction, regulations that had been in place for over 10,000 years. Ships were supposed to be built with standardized components, following approved blueprints, using materials that had been tested and certified by the Council's engineering board. Humans, as usual, had taken one look at those regulations and decided they were more like suggestions. Any word from our diplomatic friends? Ana asked. Oh, they're talking. Helen's chuckle crackled through the speaker. Emergency sessions, panic broadcasts, the works. Apparently, we're causing quite a stir. The Defiant Pioneer had been built in the Armstrong Orbital Shipyard above Earth, constructed entirely from salvaged alien technology, decommissioned human vessels, and what the engineering corps cheerfully called creative interpretation of physics. The hull incorporated Altanian biometal that could self-repair, Krillian energy shielding adapted from their mining equipment, and a propulsion system that combined human fusion technology with captured pirate vessel components. Back in the council chambers, the debate had reached a fever pitch. They're using mining equipment as defensive systems, shrieked Representative Keelan, his tentacles writhing in agitation. Mining equipment. Do they have any idea how dangerous that is? Apparently not dangerous enough, muttered Admiral Zextar, reviewing the latest intelligence reports. Our analysis suggests their improvised shields are actually more effective than our military-grade versions. Council Prime Nexus, an ancient AI that had governed galactic law for millennia, processed the data with growing concern. The humans had been granted membership to the galactic community only 50 years ago, after demonstrating basic faster-than-light capability. They were supposed to be a minor species, interesting perhaps, but bound by the same technological limitations as everyone else. They weren't supposed to be able to do this. The question, announced Prime Nexus in its ethereal voice, is not whether their methods are unconventional. The question is whether they work. The answer came sooner than expected. 3 Jektar raiding ships dropped out of hyperspace near the Defiant Pioneer, their sensors detecting what appeared to be a lone, unescorted vessel. The Jektar were notorious pirates, their ships armed with military-grade weapons stolen from a dozen different species. Ana watched calmly as the raiders approached. Helen, are you ready for our first field test? Born ready, Captain. Shall we show them what human engineering looks like? The pirates opened fire first, plasma cannons and particle beams that should have reduced any ship to scrap metal. Instead, the Defiant Pioneer's adaptive shields absorbed the energy, the biometal hull rippling like water before hardening into an even stronger configuration. "Impossible!" gasped Admiral Stor, watching the live feed from his command ship at a safe distance. "No ship can adapt that quickly." But the Defiant Pioneer was just getting started. Anna nodded to her weapons officer. "Return fire. Let's be polite about it." The human ship's response was devastating in its simplicity. Instead of sophisticated energy weapons, they launched what appeared to be modified construction equipment. Mining charges that had been jury-rigged into guided missiles, industrial plasma cutters repurposed as beam weapons, and cargo manipulation, fields that simply grabbed the pirate ships and held them motionless. Within minutes, all 3 Jektar vessels were disabled, their crews unconscious from human-designed stun fields that used the pirates' own life support systems against them. "How?" whispered Commander Thulva, her crystalline form flickering with confusion. Helen's voice came over the open channel, cheerful and matter-of-fact. "Well, you see, we figured if something works, why not use it? Sure, those mining charges weren't designed as weapons, but explosives are explosives. And those cargo fields? Turns out they work great for grabbing hostile ships, too." Anna stepped onto the bridge, addressing the Council ships directly. "Galactic Council, this is Captain Ana Rodriguez of the Terran vessel Defiant Pioneer. We've secured 3 hostile vessels and are prepared to transfer them to your custody. We hope this demonstration has been educational." The silence that followed was deafening. Finally, Prime Nexus spoke. "Captain Rodriguez, your vessel appears to violate approximately 47 separate galactic engineering regulations." Anna's grin was audible in her voice. "Yes, sir. We're aware of that. But the regulations never said we couldn't make them work better." In the council chambers, Admiral Stor slumped in his chair. Humanity had been part of the galactic community for 50 years, and they were already rewriting the rules of what was possible. "They're not supposed to be able to build ships like that," he muttered. Representative Kyle Noth's tentacles had stopped writhing. "Perhaps," he said slowly, "the question isn't whether they're supposed to. Perhaps the question is what we can learn from them." As the Defiant Pioneer continued its patrol of the Outer Rim, Anna couldn't help but smile. Humans had always been good at taking things apart and putting them back together in ways that shouldn't work but somehow did. Now they were doing it to the galaxy itself.